Hello. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. How are you guys doing? I am so grateful to all of you for tuning in to episode 2 and listening. And for those of you who shared to your friends and who did what needs to be done, thank you so much. Okay. You know, if you know me, you know that whenever something happens, I have like 4 things in my mind. If I'm experiencing any situation, I have 4 alternatives on how I'm going to react. So this week was so funny. I was coming back day before yesterday, and this driver moved mad. You know, when somebody will move mad around you, you feel like you should just either go and knock them down, which I'm not advising for you to do, or you just like curse them out. So I came out of the roundabout. If you're coming out of the roundabout, you have right of way. So this man, baby, sorry, I got distracted there. I had to go and check things. So if you're coming out of if you are coming out of the roundabout, you have right of way. So the person that is coming on the straight road is supposed to indicate. So he was supposed to indicate left. He didn't. He was driving a massive BMW. So some of these people, when they drive cars like this, in their head, they feel like they are better than everybody. I don't know why he was feeling that way. That was his problem. And I was like, okay. So because I was very quick in noticing that he was driving through, I then slowed down and he just came in. If I hadn't slowed down, this man would have driven into me from behind. Of course, he's going to be at fault, but I don't want wahala. I just don't want any drama. So when he then drove in, he was now looking at me like I'm the one at fault, like I did something wrong to him. The way this man stared at me, he was giving me the eye of death. And I'm like, you are at fault. Why are you acting like you are right? In that moment, that's when I thought I was boiling 100 degrees. Whatever they call it. I was so annoyed. I was thinking, I would just drive fast and drive into you. That's what I just thought. And then I started to laugh. I'm not advising for you to do that. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. Of course, this week as well, I had a conversation with my baby, with my partner, and I'm going to add that conversation, the interview, like conversation stroke, like talking about things that has happened to me, my experiences, being queer, being gay, and coming from Nigeria, and all of these things. So that's going to be added into this episode. So make sure that you're listening till the end so that you can listen to that interview. Okay, I'm going to insert it. Today, we are going to be talking about the challenges that we face, especially when you are being true to yourself in a society that often demands conformity and things like this. So literally is about embracing authenticity despite societal judgment, if you know what I mean, because it's something that is really difficult for people to do when you are trying to live authentically, embrace your truth in a society where you are being judged, if you know what I mean. I am a typical example and living example of that, where when you say to yourself, I am not going to conform, I'm not going to live by your standards, I'm just going to be myself, be who I am unapologetically. And you are going to get people who are going to move mad, like extremely mad. So I just said to myself, I'm going to be myself. I don't really care. I'm going to live authentically. And we're going to dive into that because this is just not only me. This happens to a lot of people when you are trying to be yourself. So you are of the age where you are supposed to be getting married. They think you should be married to a woman. You should have children. You should do all of these things. So it becomes a massive problem when you say to society, I am not going to be that individual that you want me to be. I am going to live my life on my own terms. And that is something that if you decide to live your life and lead it authentically, like I'm doing, my dear, you are going to get a lot of pushbacks. You are going to get that. And this is the reason why in my every conversation that I have with people that I know personally that may be struggling with who they are, I will always say, make sure that you are at peace with yourself, because you don't need to come out. You don't need to tell it to people, because that is when it becomes extremely difficult. If you are not strong-willed, if you are not convinced in who you are, if you are not able to withstand that rejection, that judgment, that acceptance, that shame and things like this. So it is something that you need to bear in mind, if that makes any sense. So I have been on a journey literally all my life, and I'm still on that journey, because I continue to fight every day with people who, despite the fact that I have told them umpteen times, millions of times, that I am gay, I'm out, I'm okay with who I am, I'm not going to conform, I'm not going to get married to your sisters, they will still come back to me and say to me, when are you going to get married? I get this from my family all the time. My cousins, my uncles, my sisters, whoever, sometimes, even though they may joke about it and they support me, sometimes you get some of these things and this can be really, really disrespectful. You know, I remember one time I was having a conversation with a very dear friend of mine, and he was like, why don't you just try and buy a house in Nigeria and build something for your family and things like this? And I said to him, did I not tell you that I'm gay? Did I not tell you before that I'm not going to get married? I was so pissed off with him. And he was like, no, Charlie, you know I'm joking now. And I said to him, why are you joking with me? You are talking about my life. I'm a human being. I am not attracted to women. And I have said to you countless of times that I do not want children. Okay? So we're going to talk about these struggles when you are living your life authentically and unapologetically. So some of my challenges of being truthful to myself and not conforming to society is the fact that two of my brothers don't speak to me. That's number one. I get a lot of insults on social media from people, things like, why are you gay? Your family must not be proud of you. You are a shame. You are disgraceful. You are things like this. There's so many insults that I get. A lot of these people believe that for the fact that you are a gay man, a lesbian, LGBTQIA+, that you are not a human being. Whatever you do, people are using microscopic lens to study you, every move, your body language, the way you speak, the way you move, the things that you wear, how you roll, how you eat, everything will be dissected. And then they will come and say to you, oh, you are behaving like this. Are you a man? The one that really, really is bad is when people say to you, are you a man? What gender are you? Are you blind? Are you blind? Are you fucking blind? Because what I do is I will look at them and I will look at them, I will look at them, then I will think. I will be like, do you not have eyes? You can look at me that I'm a fully grown man and you are asking me if I'm a man. I feel like society has made it, society, I take that, why am I saying society? Religion, actually, that people tend to conflict with their culture has made it so bad that if you are a lesbian, trans woman, LGBTQIA+, you are something that is forbidden. You are something that is a taboo. And this is something that I continue to fight every day. And I will tell you this, I will never stop fighting because I am ready for that fight. This is why I am where I am today in my conviction in who I am. I believe in who I am totally because I don't know how to be something else. I have gone through life making myself small, trying to make it okay for people to love me, for things to be the way I think it should be. And it has never, ever served me right. It has never been kind to me. Life has never been kind to me because of who I am, because of how God created me. And I am going to say something to you here. Coming from me to you, if you are living your life authentically, you do not need to do it publicly, as I always say, but make sure that you are going to meet a lot of pushbacks. Even when you don't tell people that you are gay, if you are comfortable in your skin, whether you are gay, straight, or a woman, you are going to get some good for nothing mofo who will come to you and move mad and say things to you that does not make any sense. So the questions that I have gotten a lot of the times is that, do you believe in God? This is not something that happens with our people. Are you a Christian? And all of these things. I have said to so many people who have said a lot of nonsense to me that Christianity does not have anything to do with sexuality. You can be a gay man, a lesbian, a trans woman, and be a pastor and believe in your God and believe in your creator. So the most times when people have asked me this, because I don't really subscribe to the version of Christianity most of these people believe in. I believe that there's a creator, but I don't really subscribe to that. I have not been to a church in a prayer capacity for over 16 years. I have not done that. I have been into a church because my parents, both of them have passed away. I've gone to the church to pray. The last time I actually went to a mass was when my partner's, my man, his uncle passed away and we went for the funeral. That was the last time I went to a church. Like, I went there, went to the mass, prayed, did everything, and I prayed for my parents and for everyone that I know and everyone that has passed away so that they can rest in peace, because I believe in my ancestors, because they are the reason why I am where I am today, if you know what I mean. So I need to tell you this based on my personal stories and my experiences. I am going to tell you, if you want to come out and you want to push back and say to society that I don't want to be what you want me to be, I am going to live my life. I am not ashamed. I love myself for who I am. That means you are going to have to be ready and be tough, extremely, because you are going to have to fight a lot. And knowing who we are as queer people, we have it in us to continue to fight because we know that nobody's going to fight for us. That's why we put up the fight all the time. Look at me. I feel like the people that always insult me, who always say to me, "Oh, why are you like this?" They are so angry that I'm a gay man and I'm not underneath my bed crying, saying to God, "Why did you make me this way? How dare you, Charles, live your life and be happy?" Because I just live my life. I don't care. Of course, I have gone through the journey. I have done the work and I continue to do the work. Every freaking day, I do the work. And I think that another thing that really affected me and tends to affect people is that when you want to live your life and be a gay person, not be a gay person, what am I saying? When you are a gay person and you want to be yourself, for me, I'm going to share this personally. I got to a point where I said to myself, I am never going to continue to make myself small just for people to love me, for people to be my friend, for my family to love me. It became a massive burden to me. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And the reason why a lot of queer people tend to not be able to live their life authentically is because of the fear of judgment, rejection, discrimination, and how it is going to impact their self expression. So, what am I saying here is the fact that me, as an example, the way I dress now, that is the way I have always wanted to dress. But as I got older, along the line, growing up and listening to the way people said things and all of these things, I did not go ahead to express myself in the way that I wanted to express myself. Even amongst the friends that I have that are gay people, up until today, some of them have problems with me maybe buying a bag, dressing a certain way, and doing things like this because deep down within them, they are still suffering with judgment and rejection and self-acceptance and self-love. Because if you love yourself and you don't have internalized homophobia and you block the nonsense that society is telling you, you are going to live your life happily with no worries. So because of that, I made myself small over the years. Over time, I did that over and over again. But it got to a point a few years ago where I said that I don't care. Family, you can go ahead and reject me. Friends, you can go ahead and stop being my friend. All of these things, I said to myself that I am not going to live by what you want me to be. I will tell you a story. I went through a situation when where I said to myself, I'm going to continue to lie. And I did that. I told my brother a lot of lies. He will say, oh, what of your girlfriend? I made up a name, Kimberly. That was the name I made up. Anytime they ask me, and whenever I'm talking about Kimberly, Kimberly is a man that I'm seeing, or the man that I had sex with, or the man that I kissed somewhere, or the man that was chatting to me on on a gay app, and things like this. That's my reference. I would say Kimberly. And I was never, ever going to be able to live my life the way I'm living it now. Because in the hierarchy of my family, I have no say. Everyone is older than me. Everyone wanted me to do what they want me to do. I was given directions. I was told that this is what you're supposed to do. And you must do those things. So for the fact that I said, no, I'm not going to conform. I'm going to live my life the way I want. That's why, especially one of my brother, has the biggest problem with me because he was molding me into what he wanted me to be. I don't understand why that at my big age, you still think that I'm a child. I'm not 12. I'm a grown man. Can you imagine if I had to have children? Then you're speaking to me in the front of my children as if I'm a fool. You know what I mean? That was the reason why I was like, I'm going to continue to do this. So it got to a point when my brother now found out that I was gay, when he said, oh, look at the way you sit, yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, what is that even supposed to mean? I am not saying that I'm right in everything that transpired because I might be wrong in some of the things that transpired. But at the end of the day, if you are a sibling and you are related to somebody, you are supposed to love them unconditionally. What I have come to realize is that my brothers never loved me. And if they do, maybe they need to come and prove it to me one day. My sisters do love me unconditionally. And so, as I was saying with the Kimberly thing, that was what I continued to do. I told these stories. If I'm thinking of a man that I chatted to, I would say, yes, Kimberly's fine, blah, blah, blah. But then it got to a point, I'm like, no, Kimberly. I'll be talking to Peter. I'll be talking to Emeka, Adebayo, Kunle, Jeremy, Jackson, Kafo, Okeke, Wayne, all of them. Like, I don't care. I am going to share to you an experience I had when I first moved to Manchester. So, because I was so in my head that the first time I went to a gay sauna, because I wanted to experience what a gay sauna looked like, I went in there and I had the worst situation. I don't know if I would call it panic attack. I had this twice at this gay sauna. I came out, I was asking myself, why did I do this? I realized over time that it wasn't because of I was scared that I went there. It was that I was overwhelmed that I'm in a place where I can be so free that I can do something like that. And it was so much for me that I was like, it was too much for me. And what I'm going to say to you, for anyone that is listening to this, you don't have to be gay. You don't have to be of the community. You don't have to be LGBTQIA plus for this to apply to you. Live your life unapologetically. Let me tell you, if you die today, everyone is going to continue their life. That's even true. Today, I got to the gym today. I saw a picture of this woman that I see at the gym. She teaches class there. And I saw, I was like, oh my God, what happened? I wasn't really sure. It happened. I asked someone, it happened that the woman passed away. I saw this woman literally not long ago, this year, this January, but the gym continued to happen. The classes will continue. All of these things will continue. If she has children or husband, they will continue to live their life after they've buried her, right? What I'm trying to say to you here is live your life. We are all going to die alone. You are not going to be buried with anybody, even your husband, your brothers, your sisters, your child. You are never going to be buried with anybody. So, listening today, Continue to live your life right now and live it on your own terms. I am not saying that you shouldn't care about people or what people think, but care when it matters. Take the things that is useful for you, because at the end of the day, a lot of people just want to drag you to where they are, in a place where they are in the gutter. Like I said to some of these people that their destiny is Titan, Iroko 3, in their father's village, who will come and rain insults on queer people and things like this, because they are trying to bring you down to their level. So, my dear, live your life. So, for my people that are judging me, I don't care. As I have said in numerous of my videos on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, every freaking body in my village knows I'm a gay man. If you think they don't know, I am happy for you to pick up a wood gong or metal gong and go to the AK market in my village and announce it to them. Because Charles does not care. Because if I die today, all of these people will continue to live their lives. So I am living my life unapologetically because I don't need permission, acceptance. I am not ashamed. I am not a taboo. I am not a sinner. God created me like this. We are born this way. Can we just look into overcoming internalized fear and shame that comes with being LGBTQIA+, that comes with being who we are? Because a lot of us are ashamed of who we are, and it breaks my mind. It breaks my mind. And I used to be like this. I used to be like this. I used to be ashamed. There is a particular song by Billy Potter that says, "I'm not ashamed anymore." So what normally happens is, because of the struggles, a lot of people have internal battles that comes with navigating queerness in societies that are conservative. And I'm going to use Nigeria as an example and Africa as an example. And they are not even conservative. It's just that they are in denial. They live in denial, pretense, and hypocrisy, and keeping up with the Joneses. They care about what people are going to say and not about their children. So when you live in a society like this, there is a lot of internal battles, a lot of fear and shame. The fear in this is fear of being maimed. If you have seen what has happened in Nigeria to certain people who are queer, your life can end because of people that are very stupid. And that is why a lot of people are scared. That is why I always say, if you live in societies like Nigeria, or Ghana or Cameroon or anywhere in Africa, or say Jamaica or anywhere in the Caribbean, or some of these wayward countries, you need to be very careful. This is why people are fearful of their life. Even when they express themselves, they are very careful, extremely. And for me, I always say this because I am privileged in a situation where I can live my life authentically, unapologetically, without caring about what anybody is going to say. So I'm able to speak for people like this and speak for my community because I can. I am able to pay my bills. I'm able to feed myself. I'm able to clothe myself. I'm not depending on anyone. And I know that it is difficult for a lot of people in the community. I totally understand this. But what I have always said, which I have said on this podcast already, is that you should understand that who you are is who you are. And you can live your life unapologetically in private without announcing it to the whole world because of fear of being maimed. And do that for yourself because it is important for your peace of mind, for your mental well being, for your whole being, for your energy, for your inner soul, for your happiness, if you know what I mean. And I think that you and we as gay people, we need to learn and unlearn the societal conditioning that we've received and work towards self-acceptance because it is crucial in living authentically. Do you understand? So if you really, really do the work about unlearning the societal conditioning that you've received, and learn how to bring in self-acceptance into your world, that will do you a lot of good. Because the truth of the matter is, when you accept yourself, you are not going to be seeking acceptance in places where you don't have that. You are not going to be seeking validation in places where validation does not exist. You know what I say? Validation does not live in certain places. Why do you want to move there? Why do you want to move into a house where validation and acceptance does not exist for you? You are valid. You are that man. You are unique. You are born the way you are born. You are special. As I say, ikalaka. Ibu nwoke eji eje mba. You are that girl. You are that man. Okay? So the earlier you do the work for yourself and you unlearn all of this bullshit, the better your life becomes. And I am going to be speaking to you from me, from the deepest part of my soul and my heart to you. You are valid. You are valid. We see you. We love you. We adore you. Who you are is not wrong. I am pouring into you today. I am praying. I know I don't pray all the time, but your life is good. Who you are is not wrong. That young child that was treated unkindly, that was told that who you are is nonsense, is valid. Love that inner child. Be kind to that inner child because who you are is amazing. It is. Charles is telling you today, unlearn that bullshit. Don't be afraid. Express yourself, but be extremely careful how you navigate because we are born this way. Look at me. I am Fab. Akalamaka. I'm Fab. I'm happy with myself. I'm not saying that life is smooth because life isn't. Life is full of ups. I'm going to bite my tongue. Life is full of ups and downs. If you know what I mean. You know? So just be yourself. I think that the things that happens to me, I'm sharing personally, like because I'm prominent, I'm visible on social media. I wouldn't say prominent, but I'm visible, so I have visibility. And there are people who see me on social media and who, because they see me every day representing, redefining visibility and representation and amplifying queer voices and living my life authentically, it rubs them the wrong way. They are raving mad. They have insulted me. If you go on my videos on social media, the insults are horrible. Or do I care? Do you know why I don't care? It has nothing to do with me. I have not done anything wrong to any of these people. I haven't. What I have done and what I'm doing is I'm living my life authentically and unapologetically. I'm being me. I'm being me. And because I'm being me, because I'm not coiled somewhere on my sofa, eating junk food and crying and saying to God, why did you make me gay? They are angry about it. That is why. Some of these people, their destiny has been chewed by a stray dog that will never be found. So why am I bothered about them? I'm not. I'm not going to be bothered. Am I bothered? Do I care? No, I don't. So do not care, my dear. That God, the so-called God that some of these people that are suffering from religious psychosis are weaponizing against you, love and care for you. These people do not understand the golden rule of humanity, which is love, kindness, honor, being non-judgmental, showing compassion, loving thy neighbor as thyself. The only thing they do that they are very good at is selective morality, selective adherence and administration. That's what they are good at. That's why you see that some of them who go to some of these churches sleep with their congregation. Some of their pastors are homosexuals, are lesbians, are child molesters and things like this and abusers. Practice what you preach, my dear. Let's see. I'm just going to dive into, not talk about, yes, it's talk about. I'm going to dive into the power of community and representation. The power of community and representation is important. That is the reason why I am here. That is what I'm doing. I have mentioned this on one of the episodes. I can't remember if it was episode 1 or episode 2, where I said that I never had anyone to look up to when I was growing up. I never had that. And it is important to find supportive communities everywhere, be it online or offline. This is why the community we are creating on social media, be it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, my website, my podcast, and the people that I meet from being who I am, we are in community. And this is absolutely important. This is why we've gone on situations where we've tried as much as possible to support people, no matter how little that can be. As they say, as they always say, every little helps. And we do what we can do as a community. If it is to give advice, if it is to do some form of financial support, especially if we are very sure. Of course, we're going to vet you because some of these people will come and be telling lies. We try to be supportive of each other because it's important. It's important. And the thing is, it's absolutely important to see other LGBTQIA plus individuals live free. God, what's going on? Live freely because that is empowering, you know. And I'm going to share a few examples of people that are living authentically. But before we get into that, as I'm saying, we are creating a community. And in this community that we're creating, our allies are welcome. It is absolutely important to be visible. To be visible, it is important. Do you think that we coming on TikTok lives almost every day, going on Instagram live, on YouTube live, and all of these things, and writing the articles that I write about queerness and things like this, do you think is in vain? No, it isn't. A lot of people are able to find some form of sanity by seeing this because a lot of people cannot speak for themselves. I know the number of people who have contacted me to say to me, thank you so much for being visible and speaking. There's a lot of people who do this. There's a lot of people who do things like this. There is BC Alimi. There is a lot of people. I just can't remember anybody at the top of my head at the moment. But we as a community are doing what needs to be done. And as I go along, I have met so many people as well where we are able to do what needs to be done. As I was saying, there's BC Alemi, there is Pastor Jide Macaulay, who is a pastor that is a gay man. There is a lot of people as well. And I'm just going to mention a lot of people that I have mentioned before, and I do apologize. Dan Yomi is one of them. Haywood is one of them. These are the people that I can always remember all the time. And we have a lot of allies, excuse me, who come to support us, especially on my TikTok live, that come to support us and fight on our behalf. People like Tasha, people like Jade, people like Rejoice, who come all the time. People like Cozy, who come all the time to speak and be there and challenge and talk to all of these people. These are important because at the end of the day, there are people who are not from the community, who are not gay, who are not lesbians, who are not of the LGBTQIA plus community, who come to support us. And because they understand the importance of living in your truth. And why I am mentioning all of these things is that it's an example for you to be able to know that you can break these barriers. You can like pick up your axe and break these barriers and live your life. We are slaying it and we are visible and we are going to continue to amplify African queer voices, whether they like it or not. Okay? We are going to continue to do so. Nobody's going to stop us. Why I'm mentioning all of these people is people have done what needs to be done. They do on their own scale. You see people who come and say to you, why are you here? Somebody said to me, do you think you can save the whole of the queer community in Nigeria? What do you have to do? I say, I am not the Nigerian government. I don't have the power to do that. But the little power that I have, which is being able to speak like this, be on social media, live my life, do things, because gay people, queer people, LGBTQIA plus people are normal individuals like every other individual on the face of the earth. We are who we are because who we are is not wrong, and we are not going to change how we are created. We are born this way. So The importance of representation is absolutely powerful. Absolutely powerful. Because I am not telling you this for free, right? The number of people who must have seen me who are very young, maybe they are teenagers or maybe older, but are not able to express themselves. When they see people like us that are speaking, representing, being visible, amplifying their voices and things like this, they will be like, yes, I can live my life. Who I am is not wrong. Who I am is not a taboo. Who I am is valid. Who I am is beautiful, is unique, is amazing. I am wonderful. I can be myself. And that's what it's meant to be. I'm just going to go into giving some practical tips for living authentically that I have done for myself. I don't know if this will work for you, but it has worked for me. And stay with me here. I may not be able to remember every bit of it. But what I'm going to say to you is you need to learn how to set boundaries, especially with people who don't respect your identity. Especially, listen to that, especially people who do not respect who you are as an LGBTQIA plus individual. You need to cut ties with them. I have given this example so many times. There's so many people that I have cut off. I have cut them off. I don't speak to them anymore. They are no longer my friends because they haven't respected and cared for me. They don't believe that who I am is valid. So you need to set boundaries. You need to understand that everyone is not going to be supportive of you. Anyone who doesn't want you to live your life and be who you are in peace and be happy with yourself is never meant to be in your life. Cut them off. Cut them off. Cut them off. Cut them off. You don't need them. I have said this so many times. There's a friend of mine that I no longer speak with. He moved mad. He moved mad. He's no longer my friend, and he would never be my friend. And another thing that I have done is finding safe spaces to express myself, without any judgment. So this can be you joining a social group. It can be a WhatsApp group of queer people. It can be joining an Instagram live of queer people, a TikTok live of queer people. I said that already. Instagram life of queer people, YouTube life of queer people, joining a community where you live, like a gathering, a meetup, and things like this, joining a space group or a queer focused gym. There's so many ways to have safe space. Create a support system for yourself, a support system that will help you navigate this world in a much fulfilling way. I have my support system. My support system is in my man, my friends, my sisters, and some sisters that are from another mother. Those are my support system. And you need to have those people who will never, ever judge you for who you are. You need to learn how to build confidence and practice self-love. Did you hear that? Learn how to build confidence and practice self-love. Because what happens is we as queer people, sometimes because of what society has done to us, society has pummeled the crap out of us. Not physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because of the things that you have heard from your relatives, from the adults around you when you were a child, and things like this. And you then pick those things up, you internalize them, and then you start to struggle with who you are. And you then not like yourself. And that's a massive problem because you've internalized these things. Before you know, you no longer love yourself. And self-love as well doesn't only have to be with you working on yourself mentally. The self-love that I have given myself was the self-love of therapy. I did therapy. I wanted to know the reason why things were the way they were. Some of the people that I couldn't speak to about things, to know why. And the reason why is because I am someone who seeks a lot of answers and I question a lot of things. And with that, I wanted to know why. And then I came to the realization that I don't want to know why from people like you. I don't want to seek answers anymore from people like this. So this is part of self-care. Your self-care can be you detaching yourself from so many things and speaking to yourself and asking yourself questions. Sometimes it's important for you to be alone and ask yourself the right questions. So there's so many ways to have self-love. Do all my, like when I go into the shower on a day when I'm not working, when I'm free, I will shower. I take my time. I luxuriate. I try to make my body sumptuous in my head, and I take my time. I do all of these things. There's so many ways for you to love yourself. Detox mentally. Relax. Go for a walk. Talk to that friend that loves to talk rubbish. Laugh. Cry if need be. Crying is not shameful. Actually, crying can do you a lot of good. Grieve. If you have relatives that haven't spoken to you for a while, grieve them and let them go. Because if they don't want you, don't want them as well. But grieve it, because it's okay for you to feel like you're supposed to love me, but you're no longer in my life. Of course, you're going to feel bad about that. Grieve them and move on with your life. One thing is that you can choose your family. I know you can't choose your family, but you know what I mean. Stay with me here. You can choose your family when they decide not to want to be in your life. You can just say, I choose not to be around you. Choose your friends and choose people that you want to be around you. You need to as well learn how to navigate difficult conversations with family and society. I do this a lot. I do it very well, actually. Most times I don't engage because there's no need. It's like pouring water into a colander. It's like pouring water into a basket. Why do I want to speak to you that is less than smart, that doesn't have any common sense? Why should I waste my time explaining myself? Why do I have to engage with you when you are insulting me? And I know when to engage. And when I engage, I will read you for filth. So learn to know when not to speak to these stupid people. Learn to do it. Because if you learn to do it, you'll be good. And as I'm saying, you are who you are. You are who you are. Who you are is not wrong. Okay, I'm going to add the conversation now. Listen to the interview and the conversation I had with my partner, and then come back. Baby, thank you for joining me.
Of course, anytime.
I'm living my life in peace. I'm amplifying queer voices. I'm redefining visibility and representation. For some people, it feels like I took all the money in their bank account. It feels like my presence is something else for them. I've had a few people who say, why haven't they deported you to Nigeria? I had this particular guy, two of them actually recently, that came on my TikTok live, and I was trying to speak to them. And he said that if he meets me, he's going to kill me. The other one said the same thing. I have received death threats on my inbox. Of course, this is my life. I'm who I am. I don't really care about what they are saying. This person is living their life. I haven't done anything wrong to you, and you feel like you have the right to say these things to me. What's so shocking is that one of them who said this thing to me, Jade, was on there. I said Jade to report them, and TikTok said that they did not violate their guidelines.
That's the homophobic attitude that all these social medias have.
You think?
I absolutely think it is, because I think they're really, really biased. They would never admit it, but I think they're really, really biased. And why do people feel the need to threaten and harass you online? I think it's because you challenge their belief system. Now, with all this right-wing drift in all societies worldwide, basically, it becomes more and more okay
to be mean to people.
To come back to the question, why do they feel the need to threaten you, to kill you, and all those horrible things? It's totally besides me. I really don't understand it, because it's live and let live. That's how I grew up. It seems like we've been so tolerant with all these people, and now the tolerance is going to be this thing that is dying last, because they are not tolerant. These people are not tolerant of anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And in fairness to TikTok, at least there have been quite a number of times where I have reported some of the threats, because because I haven't really bothered.
Yeah,
But
that's the question I have. I mean, you said once you got a death threat and
no, twice.
It was reported and nothing happened.
No, because this was on TikTok Live. The
Yeah.
person said it, but I feel like maybe because of the way they said it, I don't understand.
Yeah.
TikTok did not do anything, but I have received other messages that are death threats and things, and I report them, and TikTok took action and said that they violated their guidelines. They did. In fairness to them, in that situation, that person said it, but they said that they did not violate anything, which I don't understand. What the problem is here is that a lot of these people suffer from hypocrisy, suffer from pretense, and suffer from extreme religious psychosis.
Yeah.
So what normally happens is they come and they tell me that God should punish you. You're going to die. You're going to go to hell.
Then why don't you just tell them, then leave it to God?
Yes, but the thing is, they feel they have the right to fight on behalf of God.
Because God talks to them.
Yes. So they'll be like, this is bad. The Bible said this. I don't understand. For the life of me, I haven't come to your space to insult you. This is a community. We are building a community. We are in community. Come with us. Let's speak. Let's have conversations. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they think you're recruiting gay people. As if you could turn somebody gay who wasn't. I kind of understand it if you grow up in the church and like you're really religious and you're bisexual. Like spot on in the middle on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know? And then, of course, for you, you are attracted to men and women.
Yeah.
You are raised in the church and it's told to you that it is a decision. Yes, for a bisexual person who is on the spectrum right in the middle, yes, it is a decision. You can decide to be with women, you can decide to be with men. But not everybody is spot in the middle on the spectrum. I can understand why they believe it is a decision. But for those people that are right at the straight side of the spectrum or on the gay side, you cannot make a decision. In my life, it changed. It really did change. I always knew I was gay, but when I was much younger, I could also have sex with women and I enjoyed it. Now I could not even imagine being with a woman anymore. But it was never a decision. It was just a development, kinda.
Yeah, but the thing is, why be violent about it? If you believe in God, I was raised Catholic. What I was taught in church was that God is love.
Yes.
So if he's love, why are you then saying to me that all my generation is not going to be better for your family? I'm going to kill you if I meet you. I know some of these things can be empty threats. If I wasn't the type of person that I am, these things would be a problem. But I'm just talking about this because it's important that these things are discussed.
I think there are 2 points. You just raised 2 points. One, by the violence, by the death threats, by all this meanness. I think it's because this is not the religion that Jesus wanted to have, like love thy neighbor. This is a religion that's almost fascistic. It says them and they, the others, the others, everything that is not in their little box, anything that doesn't fit into their little box of male, female, straight, is the others. And the others are not human beings. And the minute you're not a human being anymore, you can be killed like cattle or like vermin. And I think that's what they have in their head. It's horrible, but I think that's how they think. That's why they don't even feel bad, because you are not a human being. In their eyes, you're not a human being because you don't fit in their little box. You are the other.
That's scary.
It's very scary. That brings me to the second point. I mean, you are always very casual and relaxed about all this, talking about death threats and stuff like that. For me, I don't know. It is spooky. If you go to Nigeria next, you really have to be extra careful because you really put yourself out there and your face is known now, which is good because it is good that you speak your truth. You tell the people, but it is not without danger. I just want you to have that in the back of.
No, I understand that, but I feel like majority of these people who say all of this nonsense would never, ever be in proximity.
I know the chances are really slim. I'm just saying, I don't believe that there's a real threat to you, but you have to be aware.
No, but the thing is, I haven't done anything that is inflammatory. I haven't said anything. I'm just living my life. That's which is weird.
As I said before, you do trigger certain people, and people are mad, and some of them are raving mad.
The reason why I react to the death threats is the way I feel that people like this may end up being around young children that are effeminate or who are gay or lesbians, and they will be really, really mean to them. And these children will not be able to speak. That's one of my major problems, and that's why I react to it. I react to it seriously.
I know what you mean. I mean, for the kids, you and I, we all know we grew up like that. I mean, there were like conversations you overheard from the adults, and they were talking about gay people.
That's when I realized that being gay was bad because of the things they said.
In a very derogative way. And you all of a sudden realize they are talking about you. And it makes you shrink.
That's how I realized that homosexuality was bad.
It makes your soul shrink. That's horrible. And that's why I really like what you do with your podcast and with your TikTok lives and your videos, that you give those young people that are realizing that they are gay and that they're different and that they don't fit in this little religious box, that it is okay to be the way they are. That's why I also think it's worth all the shitty stuff that's going down on your social media.
This is not about content. This is about people's lives. This is about humanity. This is who I am. Bear this in mind. There is a young child, be it a young girl, young boy that is around you that may be gay or a lesbian or trans, that is struggling with who they are. And you seeing all of these things is affecting them mentally. It's stunting their growth. Me as an adult, I can take any insult that you rain on me. I can stand for myself. I can fight for myself. I can fend for myself. I have the tools to confront you and speak about it. That is why I'm having these conversations with my partner, because I can have those conversations to let you know that it's not okay. It is not okay to be homophobic, to be transphobic, to move mad. No matter what you say to me, you're never going to silence me. Some of you are in situations where your life is horrible. Why don't you go to Aso Rock in Abuja and protest against the Nigerian government? Protest against Tinubu. Protest against the people who steal money and buy houses all over the world with the money that is steal from your country, which is Nigeria. How about that? That's all I'm going to say. Do you have anything to say?
No.
Thank you for joining me as always. You're the best.
So are you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Love is love. I hope you did enjoy the interview, the conversation. It was so amazing. I always love to speak to my guy. He's just the best. I found a family in this man, and he's been amazing to me. He's been everything to me. He's been supportive. He's been kind. He's been there through my thick and thin, through my horrible days, through my best days, and will continue to be there. So I am going to be ending this episode by saying to you, you are amazing. You are beautiful as you are. You are who you are. Who you are is not wrong. Who you are is everything. It is unique. It is wonderful. It is beautiful. It is amazing. It is fab. You are born this way. Be yourself unapologetically, my love. I'm not that religious, but I am spiritual. And that God they are weaponizing against you, my dear, my love, my darling, loves you unconditionally. You are not wrong. Because according to their Bible that they always quote, God created everyone in their own image and likeness. God is love, isn't it? So you are loved. You are who you are. And please, my dears, never be apologetic to anyone about yourself. Don't be ashamed. Don't seek acceptance. Lead the room, because we always lead, because we are powerful. Make sure that you share this podcast and share your experiences with me in the comments, wherever you listen to the podcast on. Make sure that you share your opinions with me. Remember, there is authenticity in you, and authenticity is your power. Authenticity is your power. Serve it to them. Break barriers. Keep breaking barriers. And make sure to tune in for the next episode. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. Love is love. We are amazing. I will see you in the next episode, my loves, my people, my LGBTQIA plus folks and our allies and everyone that is listening to this podcast. You are all amazing. I shall see you in the next episode. Bye for now.